Welcome to today's presentation, our live event, Getting Unstuck, Transforming Beyond Any Lack, Limitation, and Wound into Your Thriving Self. My name is Becca Armstrong, and it is such a joy to connect here with you today. Now, today I'm going to be sharing some really important information that, if you allow yourself to participate, has the power to totally transform your life. And I don't say that lightly whatsoever. So if you have an opportunity to get out something to write on, something to write with, or even utilizing your device, you may want to take some notes, because the things that I'm going to be sharing with you, when you apply them, you're going to see miracles. And I know that's a lot to say, but I have been in this industry as a psychotherapist and coach for over 26 years. I have worked with people all over the globe, and to this moment, it's over 10,000 people. Now, what I'm going to be sharing with you is not unique to anyone that I've worked with. It's not unique to me. It is how you are designed. So everything that I'm sharing with you here today is intended for your application, for you to engage it, for you to apply it, and for you to live the thriving life that you are meant to live. So let's begin here. Write down what it is that you desire, what it is that you're ready to achieve, what it is that you're ready to manifest, attract, engage, live. Write it down, and write it down as though you already have it. So here's one of the secrets. Write it down beginning with I am. I am looking at my bank account and I am seeing millions of dollars. I'm looking at my bank account and I am seeing an increase of my income by $20,000 a month. I'm looking at my phone and I'm seeing texts and voicemails from my partner, my mate, the person that I love and who loves me. I am looking at my latest labs and doctor report, and everything looks spectacular. And I can see through all of these numbers that I am healed, I am thriving, I am healthy. So I am a millionaire. I am looking at my increased income. I am looking at text messages from my mate, my partner. So write it down as though you are already living it, and put the I am in front of it. Now, here's a reason for this. As a psychotherapist, business and life coach, transformation coach, my expertise is at the subconscious level. And for over 26 years, I have helped people rewrite, rewire, and reprogram what has been holding them back, limiting them, and continuing to keep them in perpetual repetitious patterns that they don't like, that doesn't serve them, and that they're ready to move beyond. And one of the first things that I notice is how people speak. And how we speak and how we write shows us the inner narrative. So we tend to talk about the things that we don't like. If I ask you, what do you want, as I'm asking you right now, you're having to dial into what it is that you actually prefer, what you're ready to have in your life. Because there's a difference between wanting and having. And what we're focused on, you're going to get transparency from me. I am always focused on you having. So everything that we're doing, I'm not focused on you wanting it, coming into alignment with it. I'm focused on you being it, having it, as though it is done, 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 done. And we are not working bound by time and space. I have been shocked and surprised in working with clients at how time will move around you. So if you think you have to go on a journey, that's the first thing you've got to throw out the window. No more healing journey. No more manifestation journey. No more success journey. No more focusing on, I have to do this and this so I can have this. Throw all of those formulas out the door, because they can become your reality, but they are not your nature. They're not your natural reality. They're conditioned reality. So what we speak, we tend to say, well, I don't want this and I don't like this. And we talk into our past. We talk about the things that we've done that hasn't worked. We talk about the current struggles and challenges that we're trying to overcome. But I'm telling you, there's a difference between focusing on the solution or trying to fix the problem. And when you try to fix a problem, you continue to loop and repeat the patterns that are likened to that problem. So here, notice how you write it down. Notice how you're speaking internally to yourself. And then give yourself permission to let it all go in this moment. Just for this moment. You can grab a hold of it later, but put it down and let it all go. Look at what you wrote. Notice how you feel in your body right now. Does your body open up and you feel excited, or do you feel any tension or contraction? You see, I'm thinking about a client that when I first met them, I said, "What do you want?" And she said, "I want to earn $800 million a year. I want to look at my bank account and have $800 million. I said, "Okay, what does that mean?" And she said, "I don't know. I just know that it's going to allow me to have freedom." I said, "So do you want freedom or 800 million? Because I bet you can have freedom way before you have 800 million. And do you really need 800 million? Like, what is the value of that to you?" She said, "Well, I want to live a life of yes." And I said, "Okay, well, how much are you earning right now?" She said, I'm earning none. My income is zero. And I said, "Okay, tell me about that." And she said, "Well, I'm actually also living with family because I can't afford to live on my own because I don't have a job. I don't have an income." And I said, "Okay, what's the most you've ever earned?" And she said, $54,000 a year. I said, "Okay, who do you know that has earned 800 million?" She said, "Oh, I don't know anyone who's earned even $1 million of income annually." And I said, "Okay, so is it that you want 800 million, or is there something that you're trying to solve for?" And she said, "I don't know." She said, I really don't know. And I said, "And you don't know what 800 million means?" I said, "Okay, that's the first thing. I want you to figure out, what does 800 million mean? And what is the value of it?" So if you added all of the stuff up that you could do and you could experience and you could be with 800 million, how much does that total? So the next time we met, she said, "Well, here's the thing. It totals less than $500,000. I said, "Okay, all right." And she said, "And the other thing that I've discovered is that when I have all of those things and I'm living that lifestyle, I won't be embarrassed anymore. I won't feel ashamed. And I won't hear my parent yelling on the inside of me saying, 'You're never going to amount to much. You'll never be successful.'" Oh, okay. So the 500,000 is trying to heal the wound of shame. Wound of shame. So how about we heal the wound of shame first? And then you'll know more about the money that you are ready to conduct through yourself and the value of yourself that you've become. Because the money in your bank account is just showing you what you feel your current worth value is. And right now, it's zero. It's zero. You're conducting zero worth and value. We got to shift and change that. We've got to overhaul that. And we can't do it through behavior, because she's like, "Okay, tell me what to do." I said, most people who are wanting to achieve something are either wanting it because they desire it and it just lights them up and it's pure pleasure, or they have a problem they're trying to fix or a wound they're trying to overcome and heal. And they're trying to use that achievement to do it. I said, and so what do? They put a plan together. They change their behavior. They try to change their thinking. They do positive affirmations. They read and study books. They try to engage positive emotion, increase their vibration and their frequency. And they can do it for a short period of time. But then something happens and it stops. it stops. And that's because of one thing. And if you're resonating with this and you're going, oh gosh, yep, yeah, I decided that what I really wanted was a strong and healthy and fit body. And I went to the gym, and then I went to the gym the next day, and the next day, and then I went hard. And I was so sore on the fourth day, I couldn't go to the gym. I had to take a break. Do you know that that stuff is not by accident? That is by design. Did you know that? Well, let me share with you why. When you try to change things through your behavior, which includes your thoughts and your emotions, because we can measure those both physically. We measure your thoughts, we can actually measure those because they're electrical. So you're sending out electrical patterns and waves, electrical frequency. And emotions can be measured magnetically with magnetoencephalography. And that's because they're magnetic. And when you have your thought and your emotion and they mix together and you feel it in your body, that's the electromagnetic current that we call a feeling. And so when you try to change those are actual subtle behaviors. We can measure them, we just can't see them with our naked eye. And here's the deal. There's a reason why you don't change them, because 95 to 98% of everything that you think, feel, emotions, perceptions, beliefs, actions, decisions, choices, behaviors, the whole kit and caboodle, 95 to 98% of that is governed by your subconscious, and it's automated. So it's running your life through this 95 to 98% automation, which is running behind the scenes, but everything in your life is going through it. So you're trying to consciously, with 5% of you, change 95% of you. And your subconscious is awesome because its job is to take good care of you, and it thinks that it's doing it right now. I told this loving person, I said, zero income. $0 of income is actually what your subconscious thinks is helping you right now. They said, it's not helping me. I'm having to live with family. I feel like a loser. And I'm like, well, first of all, you're not a loser, but that gives us information about what's encoded into your identity. I'm a loser, shame, I can't take care of myself. I said, that's encoded into your self-identity because between the third trimester and 6 to 7 years old, you're in a theta state. And everything that you're experiencing, especially the stuff that's repetitious and emotionally impactful, that's encoding and building your network of self-identity. I said, when we talk about changing belief systems, we're talking about changing your self-identity, not just one part of your self-identity, the entirety of your self-identity. Because if you make one change, it's like if the front of your car turns right, the rest of your car is going to go right. So when you're reshaping your belief system, you're changing your identity. And that is the system of your thoughts, your emotions, your feelings, your perceptions, your choices, your decisions, your behaviors and actions, the things that you see, the things that you filter out. Because what you're seeing is only a very small percentage of what is actually going on. And let's say you want to have $1 million of income every year and you're at zero right now. What you see is going to align with zero versus somebody who has millions of dollars coming in annually. They're going to see different. And what they see is going to filter in everything that's aligned with the millions of dollars. And what this other person's going to see is everything that's aligned with the zeros of dollars. So your subconscious is maintaining not the self that you want to be. It's maintaining the self that you are because it thinks that that's taking good care of you. So if you want to be here and you're here, your subconscious thinks that this is dangerous because it's not self. It's not you right now. Now, what also shapes self? Well, trauma is emotionally impactful, and sometimes it's repetitive. Hurt, wounds. We might not think that, a parent yelling at us saying we're never going to amount to much and we're lazy and we're not a smart individual, and we're just not academic. You should focus on sports. And then you get injured and you can't focus on sports, but you were told you can't handle academia. We think those things are small. That shapes your self-identity. And then your self-identity, guess what? It's your self-identity that produces your life. So if you want to see what's encoded and written in your self-identity right now, it's everything that you're living. And wanting is different than having. Your subconscious will allow you to want. It'll allow you to want. It just won't allow you to have. And if you get it, it's going to let you have it for as little amount of time as possible, because here's the deal. The alarm systems are going to go off going, oh my gosh, they're earning $500,000 a year. We're encoded for zero. We gotta get back to safety. We got to get back to self. Sabotage. Let's reduce the income. Let's increase expenses. So yeah, they might earn 500,000, but they're going to have to spend 600,000 because of something. Maybe they get fired. Maybe, they get replaced by AI. Maybe they have a health issue and they have to go on sabbatical. Something, your subconscious is going to find a way to pop, get you back here. So that's the reason why traditional coaching strategies, psychotherapy focuses on a healing journey. And I'm telling you, you're not designed to be on a journey. You're designed to be healed. Think about it. If you're out and about and, I would never want this for anyone, but let's say you sprain your ankle. Let's go even further. Let's say you break your leg. First of all, you thinking positive about your broken leg, being like, I'm just going to visualize that my leg is healed. I'm going to imagine all the bone coming back together. Ooh, it's going to be so great. Do you know that they've actually done studies at major universities, and they had people do these types of visualizations where they were injured. They had a broken bone in one of the studies. And we know, based on averages of healing, that most bones heal in an average of 6 weeks. So they had one group sit for a certain determined amount of time and imagine looking at their bone and watching their bone come together and heal. So they were knitting the bones back together. They had another group that just did nothing. They had another group that sat for the same determined amount of time and imagined that they were doing something they love with the body that was broken, but it's no longer broken because they're doing something that they love. So if it was their arm that was broken and they love baseball or tennis, they would be imagining playing tennis, throwing the ball, cooking something, and whisking it up, doing something they love. Here's the cool thing. The people who imagined the group that did nothing, their bone healed 6 weeks. The person or the people, the group that imagined knitting their body back together, their bone healed slower, took longer than 6 weeks. Actually, on average, it took 8 weeks. So, shocking, right? The group of people who imagined doing something they love, they healed in 4 weeks. Faster. That's important because they weren't trying to fix a wound. They weren't trying to fix something that's broken. They were flowing life through the part of their body that they loved, and they were loving the experience, and there was an amplification. Now, here's the other thing. So if you're on a healing journey and you're trying to focus on healing yourself, you're like the people who are trying to imagine their bone knitting back together, and you're extending your journey. And you might have been on a journey for a long time. And I want to celebrate and commend you right here, right now, because doing the therapy, doing the self-healing, doing whatever it is that you need to heal, that matters. It's valid, it's important, and you're to be celebrated. But we don't want you living a life on this journey of healing, because it means that you're now creating suffering. Because You're designed to heal. And I have a story for you with my oldest daughter that I'm going to share with you in a moment that shows you the power of your higher intelligence, shows you the power of your subconscious, and it shows you what you can do when your conditioning isn't in the way. So, no more healing journey. It's not necessary, and it doesn't require time and space for you to get to 500,000, those kinds of things. But the 500,000 cannot be achieved through behavior and through trying to change your thoughts and your emotions, because the moment you have something going on, your automation is going to kick in. And that's good. That's by design. It's like when you were first learning how to drive a car and somebody said, "Hey, it's really hot in here. Can you turn on the AC?" It's like you were panicked, right? Oh my gosh, how do I drive, stay between the lines, and reach over and turn on the AC? And it's like, oh, I'm going to run off the road because I can't do both of those things at once. Because at that moment when you were driving, you were mechanical. You were like, okay, I have to do this and this. And I mean, you were consciously thinking through everything. You were maintaining it because it wasn't a part of yourself yet. It wasn't a part of yourself. It hadn't automated yet. But now you get in your car, you adjust the heat, you call somebody up, you're talking to somebody in the car, you're multitasking because who's driving the car? Your subconscious self-identity is driving the car. Because you know what your identity does? It says, this is who I am, this is what happens to me, and this is what I do, and this is what I don't do. And your subconscious maintains and keeps you in those parameters. So what I discovered in the years working with clients, and I'm still coaching and leading programs. As a matter of fact, if you are interested in becoming who you desire to be and no longer wanting and having it, I invite you. There's two things that I have available right now. Is one, if you want something that's on demand and automated, my Beyond Therapy, Healed, Transformed, Thriving, okay, my program is soup to nuts, going to get it done. And it has been effective for those where nothing else has worked. And I'm telling you, it will not be the investment of lifelong therapy and self-work that always keeps your having away from you. It is going to allow you to have the money to go on the vacation, to buy the car, to remodel the house, buy a new house, whatever it is that you thrive in. It's going to allow you to say yes. The other option is one-on-one coaching with me. And that's for people that are just, they've got success goals that are huge, scare most people. And they're like, all right, I'm ready to accelerate, get it done. And I want to do it now. I don't want to be on a journey. I don't want to work on it. I don't want to transform, I don't want to fix myself. So those are two options. There are links that are here with this live stream. You can click on those. You'll get more information. You can sign up with a consultation with me. Okay, so let me tell you how cool you are. Now that you know you're not designed for a journey, you don't need time and space. Here's what I want to share with you. My daughter, when she was little, she was 5 years old, and we were out for a run. I was jogging, pushing her younger sister, who was an infant, in the stroller, and she was on her dirt bike. So she's riding on the dirt path next to the sidewalk. We're running along, and we had gone about a mile out. We were going to go 2 miles out and 2 miles back. So we'd gone half of our way out, about a mile away from our house. She's up ahead of me, and she's going to come up and get onto the sidewalk, and she clips her wheel. She clips the sidewalk, her wheel catches, and she drills her knee. And I'm telling you, I could see it. I could totally see it. And as I watch her knee hit, it's trigger warning, okay? So trigger warning, she's okay, and she's more than okay. You're gonna think this is a miracle. This is not a miracle. This is actually how you're built. That's why I'm sharing this with you. So her knee swells up immediately. I can see it. It's bleeding. I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she has broken her kneecap. I've never seen something so intense. I need to call 911. I need to call an ambulance. But first, she's screaming and crying. So I run over to her. Now, it's a beautiful day. a beautiful day, and the sun is shining. There's not a cloud in the sky. And I know that when we get injured, first of all, I know that our bodies, our minds, our emotions, everything that we are, its entire focus is in healing immediately. It goes into healing mode immediately. So with that, here she is screaming. So I go over and I pretend that I reach up to the sun and I grab a ray of sun. I tell her this. I say, here, let's grab a ray of sunlight down and pull it to your knee and let the sun love your knee. I told her the moment you get injured, you heal immediately. And I said, your body is so smart. It knows exactly what to do in exactly the right order. It's so good at it. We don't have to even know what's happening. Just we're going to let it do it. So let's send love to your knee. Let's let the sun love your knee. And I covered her knee so she never saw it because she was like, ah. And then I had it covered. So then she's like, ah, but it hurts, you know? So she's saying, how could I be healed now if it hurts so bad? And I said, which I know is true, the moment, or your mind, when your mind gets a hold of pain, it takes longer for your mind to let go of the pain than it does for your body to heal itself. And when I say body, I want you to hear in your heart mental, emotional, physical experiences, whatever you've been in and through, whatever aspect of you was wounded, maybe all of you were wounded. Healed immediately is what you're designed to do. And I had never told her that it takes any time at all for healing to occur. And she had never had a significant injury. She'd never had an injury that she paid any attention to. So we're loving her knee, and I said, just let the pain be whatever it is. And she said, but I want to cry. I said, good. Allow yourself to cry. I don't know if you know this, but when we cry, it's like a shower for our nervous system, our autonomic nervous system. And if we have activated our sympathetic nervous system, it releases very intense biochemistry to either address the cause or address the pain, get the pain to stop, and then address the cause, or to get us away from it. Number one, we are designed to address. We are not designed, number one, to flight. We are designed not to fight, but to address, to resolution. So all of that, those biochemicals are like sprint biochemicals. They're really intense. So they're purposeful, but when you don't need them anymore, your parasympathetic nervous system kicks in and converts all of those biochemicals over. So crying rinses your nervous system. It's like a shower that rinses away the biochemicals that are no longer needed. Because I'm telling you, if you're in survival mode, you're not crying. You're not crying. You're surviving. And so tears are beautifully helpful. They are actually a part of your healing system that's activated and on. So I said, let it happen. Cry. It's great. And so she did. And all of this happened within less than 3 minutes. And then she says, okay. She wipes her eyes. And I still have my hand covering her knee. She says, let's go. And I'm thinking, go to where? The emergency room? Call her dad, my husband, and say, hey, can you come give us a ride to the ER? I hadn't looked at it either, but I saw it when it happened, and I knew it was really significant. So I take my hand off of her knee, and guess what? No swelling, no discoloration, just a little scab that was several days old, looked like it was getting ready to fall off. And she did not have that scab that morning. Her body had healed itself in less than 3 minutes. That's because she had no conditioning that said anything else. So her innate higher level of intelligence, that is the intelligence that brings us into human beings. I mean, like, seriously, when you were in utero, you didn't have somebody directing, okay, now cells divide again and let's build some ears. And no, you didn't have any of that. You had a higher intelligence that was organizing everything exactly how it is that you needed. And so So I saw it. She's like, okay, let's go. And we did. She got on her bike. We went the next mile, and then we turned around. So we rode, or I ran 4 miles. And that's how you're built. And I know that you're probably going, wow, this lady is very excited. I am very excited because this is who you are. You are designed to be healed and be beyond the healing work. So here's the thing. If you have not healed, something that I discovered that shocked me when I was in psychotherapy practice working with clients, you can actually have your self-identity become, because of the emotional impact, the identity of I am wounded. I am wounded. I am hurting. I am healing. I am on a healing journey. So remember your self-identity. This is who I am. This is what happens to me and for me. This is what I get and what I don't get. This is what I do and what I don't do. If you have healing or wounded in your identity, that will continue. And people will say, yeah, I've heard that trauma predisposes us to more trauma. Actually, that's not true. Because when you heal trauma with a modality such as EMDR, which has the highest level of data that demonstrates its highest level of efficacy. And if you have not done the healing work, the process, a tool, not a journey, it's just like a tool. It's like if you break your leg, you might go see a surgeon. They might, do a bit of an operation to support the higher level of intelligence that your body is, to get anything that isn't aligned with healing out of the way, pretty much, so that your body can do what it's designed to do. But you don't keep going to the surgeon. You might do physical therapy after that. But then there's a moment when you go and work with the coach, because now it's not about healing anymore, it's about strength. And so here's the thing. When you get injured, your mind, your body, your everything takes the magnitude of that which caused the injury, takes the magnitude of it, the intensity. Your subconscious and your higher level of intelligence matches it and then up levels it, magnifies it. And then it takes that energy and it builds the new self. So it doesn't repair the bone. What we call repair is actually new bone that is now there connected to the previous existing bone. And you wonder, you say, well, why is it that you don't break a bone in the same place? It's because the energy that was utilized to build the new bone matched the magnitude of what broke it. And then it was an amplified magnitude. So you have bigger self where the injury occurred. That's what you're designed to do. But if you have in your self-identity, I am wounded, I'm healing, I get hurt, that's who I am. I'm somebody that things don't work out for me. I have to work really hard to achieve what other people end up achieving with ease. Whatever's in your self-identity that's blocking or limiting your desired outcome right now, it's in your identity. And here's the deal. We have to rewrite it. We have to reprogram it. We have to rewire it. And I've discovered techniques that work in seconds to minutes. Seconds to minutes. It's a big deal right now where people say, oh, I need to regulate my nervous system. No, you don't. Your nervous system is regulated. It's regulated to what is encoded in your self-identity. So if you have $0 self-identity, your nervous system is regulated to that. And it's going to maintain that. And if you start earning money, when people say, yeah, my nervous system doesn't think it's safe for me to have the love, have the money, have the health, that's because it's not a current match to your self-identity. And so it's so far outside that it's not self. And that's the threat. So your nervous system isn't doing wrong by you. It's doing what is encoded to maintain who you've been. But when you rewrite it, guess what? The money, the health, the love, the opportunity, the title, the recognition, the travel, the house, what it is that you desire is part of self. And your subconscious and your higher intelligence nourishes it and nurtures it and draws everything that is harmonious and aligned with it in. Your reticular activating system filters all that in. If you don't know what a reticular activating system is the simplest way to describe it is it's a filtration system that filters your self-identity in and everything else out. So what you're aware of, what you see, the way you perceive it, that's all governed by your reticular activating system, which is automated and it's run by your subconscious. And the codes that are being activated are the ones that are currently in your self-identity. So when you experience, you're like, I'm blocked, and my nervous system goes off, and I go into fight, flight, freeze, or fawn when it comes to having what I want, or when good things start happening. I start, your nervous system isn't dysregulated. You're seeing that what you are starting to experience or what you desire isn't integrated into your self-identity. So what does your subconscious have to do? Kill it. It has to destroy it. It has to sabotage it to keep your current self-identity safe. That's what's happening. So you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You've got a self-identity that is not a match to what you want. And here's the deal. When you heal and you are healed and you know you're healed, guess what happens? Remember I said your subconscious and your higher intelligence activates the energy of the magnitude of the wound, but then amplifies it? You now have that available amplified energy. That energy and the self-identity is amplified. So you have more energy available, which means your electrical and magnetic flow and circuits and systems are bigger, which means you can attract and you can manifest and you can live and you can achieve more without more effort. As a matter of fact, in my experience, you start feeling like you have the Midas touch. You start feeling like you are a walking, talking alchemy of miracles. You want something, and then it's just like everything lines up. I made a decision from healed with available energy, and within less than a minute, my phone rang with the opportunity I had asked for. I didn't know how it was going to show up. I didn't know the form that it was going to come in, but I had asked. My phone rang, I answered, and it was there. It had arrived, and here's the cool thing. I don't know anybody that gave people my phone number. I don't know anybody who was involved. I never met them. And it was an opportunity. My phone rang, an opportunity by Gaia Studios to come and bring and invite people as an audience for a series with Marsha Weeder, Jack Canfield, Bob Proctor. I had made a decision to be of service and help people to become who they're meant to be and live their thriving, authentic life globally. Within 1 minute, my phone rang. It was Gaia Studios. It was the producer. And they had gotten my name from the Chamber of Commerce, and I wasn't a member of the Chamber of Commerce. As a matter of fact, I didn't know anybody in the Chamber of Commerce. But they had been given my number saying, call her. She's probably going to know people who could be in the audience, and these people will likely really want to participate in this series. And that was true. So I organized the audience. We went. I was just standing around, as they're transitioning from one presenter to the next. And the producer grabs me and says, I want to introduce you to the talent, the speakers. So introduced me to Jack Canfield, Marsha Weeder, Bob Proctor. And Marsha and I learned her Dream Coach certificate or process, which is phenomenal. She and I came to work together in many regards. Fantastic. Bob Proctor and I struck up a conversation. We said, we got to work together, but we weren't sure how. And what I ended up doing with him was co-teaching with him. I built all of his coach certification trainings. We taught all over the world. And we moved his trainings from in person to online, and I certified his coaches, ran his masterminds, and other coaching programs. So that I mean, I received a phone call one day, and they said, "Hey, we need you to teach a webinar to a group of people in Ireland." The group was 2,000 plus people. They said, and we need you to teach it in 20 minutes. Oh, okay. So I want to be of service globally. Boom, phone rang, less than a minute. Okay, that's how you're designed, because when you're healed, you have that available energy. Now, the other thing is, I want you to write down on your piece of paper 1 plus 3 equals 4. Basic equation, 1 plus 3 equals 4. Now, I want to ask you, looking at that equation, is there anything wrong with 1? No. Don't need to fix 1. Anything wrong with 3? No. How beautiful. 1, great. 3, great. When you add them together, you get 4. Is there anything wrong with 4? No. It's an equation. Now, this equation doesn't get you some random number. It gets you 4. 4. Why? Because that's its design. These are your codes. Your codes at a subconscious level are just like that. They were built to produce an outcome. What outcome is your self-identity currently encoded to produce? The one that you're living. Not the one that you want, the one that you're living. So here's the deal. When you have the need for a 4, this is a cool, wonderful, delightful equation. But if you need a 5, you need a 6, you need a 7, this equation can't get you there. You can't fix 1 plus 3 to get 4 to change to a 7. This equation, 1 plus 3 equals 4, is not broken. You're not broken. You're designed to get to a 4 right now. And you need a 5, you need a 6, you need a 7. People say, well, I mean, if we just take the 3 and we add it to the 4, then you get 7. Yeah, you sure do. Yes. But that's not the same equation. You didn't change the equation. You created a brand new equation. Now, were the ingredients for the equation available and right there? Yeah. And in my experience with people, that's what happens most of the time. But you got to create a brand new equation. Now, your desire is showing you the equation that you are meant to integrate now. You're meant to build it. And if you've been hurt or wounded, you need to get out of that journey. You need to be healed. Now, again, the tools and the techniques that I have discovered, they work in seconds to minutes. So you don't need a journey. Now, in my Beyond Therapy program, I put all of those tools in there. I'm telling you, all of them. We have 82 lessons, 82 tools. We have knowledge building lessons. So you get to really understand how you're built, how you function, how you got those equations. And it isn't about living in your past. You're designed to not only heal, but you're designed to transform those equations. That's what the entire transform phase of Beyond Therapy is. It's all about, okay, hey, cool. I discovered I got a 4 going on and I need a 7. So I'm going to build the 7. And I'm going to use this tool and I'm going to do it. And in a couple of minutes, I'm going to have this equation not only built, integrated, and activated. And then here's the other thing I discovered. This is what I discovered, and it shocked me, is that, okay, let's say you're healed. You have rewritten the part of your self-identity that says, I'm wounded. So now you have the self-identity that says, I'm healed. I'm healed. Let's go. You've transformed the limiting patterns and equations. You've transformed them. So you've got all of the equations that you actually prefer. They're activated, they're integrated, they're going. Here's what I discovered. People stop there, and they have never been encoded with thriving. And they hold themselves in a stagnated state because they think they have to do something to have something. So they put together definitions. Think about playing cards, okay? 52 cards, right? They have zero meaning until you name the game you're playing. We're playing blackjack. Immediately, when you define the game you're playing, you name it. The rules, the regulations, the system, the whole kit and caboodle, boom. The whole system is present. And here's the deal. to play that game, you have to follow the rules. So when you activate a definition, you got to follow those rules. But here's the thing, you made it up. And if you're wondering, well, how did I get all this stuff going on? When you're in the third trimester, all the way up to 6 or 7, you're in a theta state and you are recording, integrating, building, developing adaptive, subconscious self-identity codes. You're building your self-identity, but you're not building it. Your environment is building it. There's also something that happens in your DNA. It's called transgenerational transference. It's basically when you inherit emotions, feelings, thoughts, behaviors, patterns, energetic signatures from your ancestors. All of that shapes your identity. So basically, the majority of the things that you think you're thinking, you're not thinking them. Somebody else did, and you encoded them. So here's the deal. Most people aren't taught thriving. And they think, okay, I have to do this to have this. So now they have a definition. And now they have a permission slip that they have inserted into that definition in that system. So they say, if I don't do this and I don't get it to this level and do it this way, then I can't have this. That's not how you're built. You're designed to activate, to amplify, to become the outcome first and allow yourself to discover the how, because it's not going to be what you planned. When you put together a plan, and this is what people do, they come in and they're like, okay, I'm healed, I've transformed my limiting patterns, but here's the deal. I have a plan now, and I have a plan to get to the 500,000, and I have a plan to get to the 800 million. I have a plan. Well, where did that plan come from? The plan came from the self-identity system that doesn't have it. So the plan is like a setup of definitions and permission slips that have to be satisfied, and you have to do it in the right way, and then you can have what you want. And most people don't, because guess what? The plan is coming from the absence of what you desire. The absence of it, not the presence of it, the absence of it. So you know what that is? That's going to produce the absence of it. A lot of busyness, a lot of movement, a lot of efforting, a lot of struggle, a lot of grind, but no movement. Yuck. So I said, gosh, I need to help you guys integrate the amplified self-identity that doesn't use permission slips or definitions. So you can make a decision of something that you're ready to have, and then all of the how, you let go of how it has to happen, because you just go into curiosity, and you're like, oh, and then you have it. You have it. I mean, my goodness, Richard Branson is so fantastic. He owns over 400 companies. He has an idea, and he's like, okay, good. Let's have that be the reality, and then it becomes a reality. He never doubts it for a moment. He doesn't know how he's going to do it, and the how shows up, and he flows. He conducts the energy. When you hear somebody say you got to be able to hold the energy of $800 million, that's called stagnation. That's not true. Your house is not holding the electricity. It's conducting it. It's conducting it. So you need to be able to conduct the energy of 800 million. And that comes from the encoded systems of your self-identity. So that's what we do. We integrate those, because I was like, wait, why are you guys capping yourselves off? You know, you've healed the wound that kept you at zero. You now are joyfully delighted in your 500,000. You now want 800 million, and you can't figure out how to get there because the plan's coming from 500,000. Maybe you don't even want 800 million. All you really want is 5 million. You know, like I was just chatting with an advisor that said, if you have 500 million, or not 500, 5 million in certain levels of investment, you'll never have to work again a day in your life. And it's just so cool, because people say, well, to never work a day in my life, I have to have 800 million. It's like, well, you have to have 5 million, but here's the deal. Like, ultimately, he was like, actually, no, I mean, 1, 2, 3, I mean, you can do some really amazing things and live a life of freedom and preference less than 5 million. So, okay, but we got to wire that into the self-identity, encode it, because here's the deal. If you have the equation for 500,000, 800 million, whatever it is that you prefer, then it can only produce 800 million. So you're going to put your life into that code, in those codes, and it's going to produce the outcome that it's written for. Isn't that exciting? Isn't that exciting? So this is what I do. And I am so glad that you're here. Now look at your piece of paper and actually make a decision. Am I going to stay wanting this? Or am I ready to have it? And am I willing to cost myself time, cost myself money, cost myself fulfillment by delaying it? Or am I going to say yes and jump in? And I hope you're saying yes. That is my invitation to you. That's my celebration of you, because I have seen over 10,000 people's lives changed. And it's not unique to them. It's not unique to me. It's how you're built. I am just very grateful and blessed that I discovered tools that work rapidly and kindly. And here's the other thing. People say, yeah, I just don't believe it. It sounds too good to be true. Yeah, I agree with you. But the people that I have worked with and that I work with, some believe it's going to work, but a lot of people don't. And these tools, they don't need you to believe that they're going to work. They don't need it, because they just work. They just work. So you could believe it's not going to work, and then it works anyway. And isn't that fun? Isn't that delightful? So if you are ready to say yes to what you have written on the piece of paper, and you are ready to complete your healing journey, you're ready to have the new codes in your self-identity, because you have codes anyway. That's how you're being a human being. So you deserve, and you are worth, and you are valuable to have the codes that you actually need to have what you want. That's how you're built. And yes, you're designed to amplify, to conduct the energy that's so big, it makes you like giggle. It's so big. People go, how are you doing this? And you go, how could I not? This is just who I am. This is just who I am, what happens for me, and what I do. Okay? That's who you are. So click the link, join Beyond Therapy, or schedule a one-on-one consultation. If you say, I don't know, is Beyond Therapy, right for me? You're going to see everything that's in there. You're going to get, when you click the link, you're going to see everything that you get and what is all included. But if you're doubtful, if you say, I don't know, I just need some more information, then schedule a consultation with me. That's why that link is there. And if you are having any trouble with the link whatsoever, there is a link. And then you can also email me, support@beccaarmstrong.com. So if you have any trouble with the link, support@beccaarmstrong.com, and we will help you directly, okay? Because I'm on a mission, and my mission is your fulfillment. And I think that's a good mission. So thank you very, very much for joining me here today. And I look forward to the opportunity to be of service and work with you and help you to thrive in every aspect of your life, because that is who you are. That is who you're meant to be. You've been living somebody else's codes, and it's time for you to be done with that and into the life of your authenticity. All right. Thanks for joining me. Take care. Bye for now.